Welcome to Eagle 7 News. Coming up, basketball halftime might be worth sticking around for. We'll have the story.
And the deadly fires in California aren't just news headlines. For some here on campus, it hits closer to home.
I'm Caleb Holt.
And I'm Emily Linden. Your campus news starts right now. The large wildfires in California have become national news, with over 10,000 buildings and homes destroyed. For some here in Minnesota, the blaze is hitting close to home. The total amount of residents evacuated from their homes has reached 52,000, including many missing and dozens killed from the aftermath. California native and junior public relations major Seth Johnson has friends and family who have had to evacuate their homes, and he tells us how the UNW community can help.
That's really big. Praying for provision, praying for just God's hand to kind of be over this community. I mean, this is a really awesome opportunity for the church to grow, for churches to open their doors and kind of give homes to people who are struggling to keep theirs.
Seth mentioned that it's difficult to be in Minnesota while he has friends and family that have to evacuate back home.
The basketball teams aren't the only ones taking the court this season, as the Unw Dance team has solidified its spot in the halftime entertainment for many of this season's games. Noticing the lack of opportunities for dancers at Northwestern, Danielle Mulholland and Ariana Owens decided to take matters into their own hands. In 2016, they formed the Unw Dance Team, a club that offers students the opportunity to form friendships and worship the Lord through dance.
It's such a different halftime performance than what Northwestern has had. There was a dance band that was lifted in 2013, and so we've never had a team before. I think it's really sweet that we all come with different levels of ability, and we do one performance for Northwestern.
The team's next performance is this Saturday during halftime of the women's basketball game.
It has officially been No Shave November for 16 days, and with hundreds of thousands of participants each year, we decided to catch up with two UNW students, Zachariah Fritz and Tyler Carmody, to see if and why they decided to take part in the event.
I am until this weekend, for fun. In all honesty, it's just because I can and I'm too lazy to pull out the razor.
Yeah, through high school, me and a couple buddies always used to do it, and it's just nice. Even though we're apart, we're still together through stuff like this and through little get-togethers. We talk to each other over the phone and doing No Shave November and just keeping each other accountable in small ways.
Although No Shave November is a fun and sometimes silly time for guys to grow their best beards, many don't know the true meaning behind the month-long annual event. It all started in Australia back in 2003 to raise awareness for prostate and other cancers for men, and has continued as tradition ever since. This year, the prospective amount raised is expected to exceed last year's totals, reaching amounts upwards of $1.76 million for some organizations.
The snow is here, and that means so are winter sports. UNW's club hockey season starts on Saturday. The team has high hopes on how this season will go, anticipating some strong competition. They're hoping that their talent can help the team. The UNW's club hockey team season begins on Saturday against St. Olaf. The Eagles will play at 10 p.m. at the Schwann Super Rink in Blaine. Fans are encouraged to come watch.
I think that hockey is the most entertaining sport. It's really fun to watch, and you can be loud, you can't throw stuff, but hockey's just exciting, and I think people at Northwestern can get a taste of what hockey's like by coming to our games.
And speaking of hockey, Chase, what's going on in sports this week?
Well, Caleb, the UNW football team wrapped up last weekend with a cold one, pulling out a 28-0 win over Iowa Wesleyan to finish the season 5-5. The team also won the UMax Sportsmanship Award this week. As well, earlier this week, two UNW volleyball players, senior Mariah Halverson and freshman Sydney Schwitters, were recognized as AVCA All-American Honorable Mentions. The men's and women's basketball teams are in action tomorrow. The women are home versus Augsburg with tip-off at 1, while the men head out to Gustavus for their game at 7:30. That's all we have for sports this week. Jack, what's the weather going to look like for Thanksgiving?
Thanks, Caleb. Last week we were pretty lucky with the warm weather, but this week, sorry guys, we're not going to have the same warm week we had last we're getting some 30s throughout the whole week, partially cloudy, but it's buckle down, guys. It's going to be a nice, cold Minnesota November week. And that's all I have for the weather. Back to you guys.
Thanks, Jackson. Little white sailboats is something you're sure to have seen a lot of here on campus, but you may not know the story behind them. One senior here at Northwestern has a lot on his plate. He is running a clothing business while still in school.
I started Freed Sailors in 2016 with my best friend, Matt Racine. We wanted to create something, a brand, that resonated with believers in a unique and creative way. We decided that apparel would be a creative way to spark a movement of believers on fire for Jesus and walking in their new identity of freedom in Christ. When we first started, we didn't know if people would actually grab a hold of our vision and our mission right away. But once people started showing a lot of support and encouragement, we started to dream bigger. My hope is when people hear Freed Sailors, they associate it with a movement, and a movement that's dedicated to spreading a passion for freedom in Christ.
You can check out their merch at freedsailors.com.
Here at Northwestern, 86% of our student body is from Minnesota, while the other 14% of students are from other states or different countries. We caught up with students to see what Minnesotan phrases and sayings they use.
Minnesota is the land of 10,000 lakes, home to the Minnesota Vikings, and known for their Canadian-like accent. Although not every Minnesotan has a distinct accent, they do have a different way of saying certain phrases and pronunciations. Are you from Minnesota?
I am born and raised here, yes.
Yes.
No. I am, yes I am.
Yes, I am. Born and raised.
Is it duck, duck, gray duck, or duck, duck, goose?
It is definitely duck, duck, gray duck. It's duck, duck, goose. It is definitely duck, duck, gray duck.
It's duck, duck, goose, obviously.
Duck, duck, gray duck. It's always been.
It is definitely duck, duck, gray duck.
It's goose. It's goose.
It has been duck, duck, goose my entire life.
Is it hot dish or casserole?
Depends on what you're making.
It's hot dish.
Hot dish?
Casserole.
Hot dish.
Hot dish. I've only ever had hot dish.
I've heard both, but in our house we use hot dish. Is it pop or soda?
100% pop.
Pop. Definitely pop.
I'm gonna go with pop.
Soda. Clearly soda.
Pop.
That depends on who I'm talking to. Usually soda.
For Eagle 7 News, I'm Tori Hain.
So, Emily, casserole or hot dish?
I'd say casserole. I love green bean casserole.
Well, that is pretty good. Well, either way, I'm looking forward to having a lot of it over Thanksgiving week.
Me too. And we want to know what you guys think. We have a poll on Instagram, so make sure to go cast your vote.
That's right. Go check us out on YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram.
At Eagle 7 News.
I'm Caleb Holt.
And I'm Emily Linden. Stay fly, Eagles.